A lot can happen in a week. Some of it good, some of it bad, some of it downright ugly. When faced with intriguing developments in the week's news, we turn to a rotating panel of non-experts to parse the good, the bad, and the ugly of it all. On today's panel, Joyce Sewing, news columnist for the Houston Chronicle, Mustafa Tamiz, media and public affairs consultant and the CEO of Outreach Strategists, and David Branham, professor of political science at the University of Houston downtown. Joy, Mustafa, David, welcome to Houston Matters.
Hi, Craig.
Thank you, Craig.
Panel, Houston Mayor John Whitmire Tuesday unveiled his proposed city budget for next year. It includes $75.5 million in cuts from the general fund, which should roughly offset the added money the city's poised to pay police officers under a deal the mayor reached with the police union late last week. As Houston Public Media's Dominic Anthony Walsh reports, Mayor Whitmire pointed to a recent study of inefficiencies to help explain where the cuts would come from, and his administration confirms the city will consolidate some IT, HR, and finance functions. Some more savings will come from some municipal workers' early retirement buyouts. While Whitmire calls the budget balanced with no deficit, the document itself still shows a gap of $107 million between projected revenues and expenses, meaning the city would have to tap into a reserve savings account fund balance to square the math. It also only covers next fiscal year, of course, and there are 4 more years of police officer salary increases the city will have to address from 2027 to 2030. The mayor unveils his proposed budget and says it's balanced, and with a dip into savings, it is. Is this good, bad, or ugly? Mustafa Tamiz, start us off.
Certainly not good, right? Because if you look at the city budget, 2/3 of it is public safety, about $1 billion in police and about $500 million roughly in firefighters. We're getting firefighters an increase in pay. Now we're getting police an increase in pay. These are contractual things, so once you do them, you can't take them back. Maybe we get through this fiscal year. But then when you get into next year and the year after, I think we're going to have a lot of trouble. Sales tax revenues are likely to go down as the economy comes to a screeching halt in the third quarter of this year. Appraisal values are likely to start, flattening out. So this will create a very difficult future for Houston. And as we hollow the budget out for these type of contractual payments, all the other things, all this deferred maintenance will suffer because of it.
All right, good, bad, or ugly. David Branham.
You mean the city's having problems with money? Wow. It's just a raging theme that continuously goes on. The city finances are a difficulty all the time. In all honesty, I don't know why anyone would want to be mayor of Houston except for the prestige of it, because the job is impossible. It's absolutely impossible. So Mayor Whitmire thinks that this is a good plan. I'm sure there'll be plenty of critics ready to pounce on any weaknesses there. Our city controller, from what I see, is ready to go on it. And so it's probably bad, like Mustafa said. The issue is, police officers and firefighters. Police officers have a harder job now than they've ever had in their life, and we have higher expectations from them than we've ever had. So giving them a raise seems like something that we need to do. We're asking more, we should give them more. But that doesn't leave a lot for the rest of the city. I worked in water production for 19 years. I've seen cut until the point where people were working by themselves in the middle of the night. There were times when people were injured that they didn't get help for 4 or 5 hours, or it was just too late. And so it's tough for the rest of the city to actually function in a reasonable manner if they're continuously getting cut. So I wish the city well. I think it's a great city. The mayor says no tax increase. I'll believe that when I see it. I think it just has to come to actually pay for this. What's going on here? I'm hopeful that the optimism is well founded, but I have my doubts. So I think it's really bad.
Okay, good, bad, or ugly. Joy Sewing.
I think it's bad, too, for everything that both of you all said. When you look at the city as a whole, we have been in a deficit across the board with city services, with police representation. I mean, we're one of the low, in terms of a major metropolitan city, we have fewer police officers than a lot of the other big cities. We have green space, maintenance issues. We just seem to always be behind the 8 ball. And now we're asking for more cuts and more cuts. And eventually we're going to have to pay for that, either, in taxing or the services that we are not going to get. We know we had issues with water. We have issues with trash pickup. I think it's just going to get worse.
Panel, this week Yelp released its annual list of the top cities for barbecue lovers, and Texas is appropriately represented as the site identified Austin and San Antonio as numbers 1 and 2. And something's missing. Aha! No Houston. Here's the thing. According to the site, this particular listicles ranking is based on a, quote, blended metric including consumer interest in barbecue, total business count, and average business rating. But also, quote, we limited this year's list to 2 cities per state to ensure geographic diversity. That knocked Houston off the list. Yelp ranks its top cities for barbecue lovers and decides 3 cities is too many for 1 state, even Texas. So sorry, Houston. Is this good, bad, or ugly? David.
Ugly. I'm looking at this, and they have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 states, Texas and 6 others. The 6 others combined population are actually less, all put together, than the state of Texas. It's really close. They're each about 31 million. So why are they limiting Texas to 2 cities, and why are those 2 cities Austin and San Antonio? How do you leave Houston out? In my opinion, how do you leave Fort Worth out of this? I don't understand. And there's probably 6 cities in Texas that should be there instead of Greenville, South Carolina, or Tulsa, Oklahoma, or Memphis and Nashville. It's almost like, okay, we're going to find the best cheesesteak in the country, and we got Pittsburgh and Harrisburg on our list, so let's leave Philadelphia out, and now we'll find it. It just doesn't make any sense to me. So I absolutely agree that Texas is underrepresented, and it's just absolutely silly to put all these other cities in there just to have geographic diversity when you have a state that is the king of barbecue. So it's ugly.
All right, good, bad, or ugly. Joy.
I think it's ugly for one reason and one reason alone. San Antonio. Who goes to San Antonio? Who goes to San Antonio for barbecue? I have been to San Antonio many times. Barbecue was never on the list of things to go see, do, taste at all. So my issue right there is San Antonio.
Well, yeah, I've been to San Antonio many times, and I've never thought about barbecue when I went. I mean, San Antonio is a great city. I love it, but no, not barbecue.
I just assumed that they must have like some sort of pit at the Alamo or something. No?
I'm sure there's a barbecue place somewhere along the River Walk, but I haven't seen it to a point where I'll say, oh, there's a barbecue place. There's so many other wonderful places. I don't understand.
Good, bad, or ugly, Mustafa.
There's good, there's bad, there's ugly, and then there's stupid. Yelp is stupid. Like, come on. Yelp is like the early 2000s, right? Like, who looks at Yelp anymore? Although they're selling a hell of a lot of advertising on that site. You look at a Google review. You look at things that are more relevant in today's time. So I think Yelp is completely off charts on this stuff, and not just because Houston wasn't included, but it's kind of like a lot of their stuff doesn't make sense to me anymore because I don't know if it's advertising push, right, or is this a legitimate review? So I don't use it as much. And now that they are like coming up with these arbitrary rules around food, like I can only have 2 from each state. Like if that's their standard, I'll look at something else. So it's just stupid.
It's like going on Amazon and looking at the reviews and like, is this a real review or is this somebody paid for this? So.
Yeah, Yelp is like Yahoo. Doesn't exist anymore. You're done. I'm done with you.
I'm sorry. I get my email at Yahoo, so it's kind of exists.
Are you going to defend Yahoo right here? Is that what you're going to do?
You have Yahoo email? Really?
I have Yahoo email.
He's the last one.
Oh, my God.
That's right.
Well, at least I don't have AOL.
Who has AOL?
Y'all remember what AOL was, right?
I don't.
Yeah, sure.
So
Yeah.
I don't have that, no.
Oh,
Well, you don't have mail then.
So
Panel, after 13 months, 4 rounds of surveys, and more than 850,000 votes, the National Hockey League team in Salt Lake City finally announced their nickname and new logo on Wednesday. I give you the Utah Mammoth. According to the NHL, the primary logo, called the Mountain Mammoth, includes the snow-capped Wasatch Mountains on the crown, the outline of the state of Utah in one of the peaks, and tusks curving up to form a U. The rallying cry is "Tusks Up!" I, for one, worry that 17,000 rabid hockey fans screaming "Tusks Up!" will create a mountain of projectile spittle. But hey, the Utah Mammoth it is. Is this good, bad, or ugly? Joy.
Well, for a hockey team, that sounds like it's a wonderful thing, I guess. I looked on social media, and they were saying that social media loves the Mammoth. So who am I to say that it's not not a good thing? I think anytime you get that kind of buzz, especially for a hockey team, and you know that hockey, people were waiting for the fight. So this just kind of adds to the fire.
All right. Good, bad, or ugly, Mustafa?
I don't know. It just seems very prehistoric to me.
Let the puns begin.
Yeah. This is it's like going back in time. Look, I looked at the logo, and I know that we're on radio, so a lot of people can't look at the logo. They're trying to do something interesting with the tusk and stuff, but I'm not feeling it. I don't know, Joy, other people on the internet seem to like it, but I'm not feeling it. I don't think this is all that fascinating or interesting, but it is Utah after all, right? So I would say...
What do you expect from Utah? Is that what you're saying?
Look, I don't need hate mail from Utah.
Well, they need something to be excited about.
They need something to be
right?
excited, And let me tell you, I know what they don't have. Barbecue. They don't have barbecue over there.
Yeah, strangely, they were 11th on the list. I don't get it. Good, bad, or ugly, David?
I'm going to say ugly just looking at it, but the good thing is the colors aren't crazy. So when you look at it, it's ugly, but it's not crazy ugly. So it's just kind of an ugly
It's just
thing.
Utah ugly?
Yeah,
well, do you mean ugly as in a mean-looking mammoth because the eyes have got that sort of triangle that there's a little bit of anger there, which works?
It's just been done. This has been done.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost like the Texans helmet or the Chicago Bulls uniforms or even the LA Rams who originated all these tusks and so forth. So it's been done. And on top of it, it says the state of Utah is there. I really don't see it. It says that...
I asked about this. I looked into it, and it was explained to me. If you look on the far left of the logo and you tilt your head to your right, you will see the top outline of the state of Utah, and it just doesn't quite come around with the complete rectangle on the bottom.
Yeah, I see that. They just don't have a southern border on there.
Right.
So, okay, and, I see the snow-capped... But the U is.
What are y'all looking at? Like I'm looking at the logo, going, "What are you?"
On the left side of the logo, you see there's sort of a rectangular-ish.
Who's looking at a logo that closely? Who is looking at a logo that closely?
Joy and I are like,
you can't see it.
I don't get it.
You can't see it. It doesn't make any sense. And then on top of that, the U's. I can see that it kind of makes a U, but I never consider that standing for Utah. It was just, it's how the tusks are drawn. So I think it's terrible. I personally think that this has all been done and they shouldn't have done this. In Utah, I mean, they for some reason don't know how to pick a name for a sports team.
Well,
the New Orleans Jazz was a good team. Jazz was a great name for New Orleans, but when they moved to Utah, they need to change the name. It's not that, right? I mean, the Lakers were a good name in Minneapolis, but when they moved to Los Angeles, how many lakes are there in Los Angeles? So they should have called and said, okay, let's trade names. We'll be the Utah Lakers and the Los Angeles Jazz, and that would have made a little bit more sense.
If I may, in subtle defense here of the Utah Mammoth, it took them 13 months. They've just completed their first season in the NHL. They called themselves the Utah Hockey Club for the last year. So you're right, they have a hard time coming up with a name. I would maintain Mammoth is an improvement over really nothing.
I agree, but you've got like the Golden Knights, a fairly new team, and Craig knows I've kind of embraced them. I mean, they have a great logo, the Golden Knights. They call their arena the Fortress. What are you going to call this arena? The Cave? I don't understand what the concept. And if you're in Vegas, go to a Golden Knights game. They knew what they were doing. This is just off. So here's my suggestion: change your name to the Arrows. Make it a green logo with a plane on it, and then move to Houston, and then it'll be good.
You know, if I'm going to go to a hockey game, I'm going to go to a Mammoth game. I'm not going to go to, something light. I want to go to something that has some meat to it,
Okay.
And Mammoth sounds like they're going to go in there and really do something.
Joy's coming around. Joy's coming around.
Yes. Well, she seemed
Joy's
the most
coming around.
positive of the three of you on that.
This has got some
And she's got like
hoofs or
4 million
strengths
people
or
on
whatever.
her side. Nobody.
This was the one topic I thought they're really not going to have any opinion on this, and the three of you couldn't be more split on it.
The best thing about this logo is that we're talking about it on radio, so you can't see it.
That's right.
Exactly.
I encourage you to look it up. Joy Sewing is a news columnist with the Houston Chronicle. Mustafa Tamiz is a media and public affairs consultant and the CEO of Outreach Strategists. And David Branham's a professor of political science at the University of Houston downtown. Joy, Mustafa, David, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Craig.
Thank you, Craig.